word just came down that the Phoenix Suns have fired their head coach, Monty Williams. Wow. So it's wild because I literally made a segment earlier this week on the good, the bad, and the downright surprising, all about the bad being for head coaches during this playoff season. So the whole gist was that head coaches will roll. Get it? It was like a play on like heads will roll. All right, fine. But really the gist was that head coaches, especially in the playoffs, needed to be on their P's and Q's, particularly because there's a heightened scrutiny on everything in the playoffs. Every call, every missed shot, every timeout that you didn't take, there's scrutiny for it. And so at the time, the Bucks had just recently fired their head coach. And so I was of the mind that all the head coaches in the playoffs really needed to be aware that they're going to be under this like increased scrutiny, especially for these playoffs. So with that as a backdrop, I'm not surprised that the Phoenix Suns are making a change, but I'm still pretty surprised that they're letting Monty go. To give context here, Monty took the team from like relative obscurity all the way to the NBA Finals in 2021. They hadn't been to the finals, I want to say, since like 93. So he did an amazing job there. He then won Coach of the Year in 2022. He signed, it was at least reported that he signed a long-term contract extension as well, I believe in 2022. And then now he's being ousted in 2023. Wow. So I get that the Phoenix Suns have underperformed in terms of like their expectations. And when you make a trade, oh wow, something's in my eye. Wow. But when you make a really historic trade for Kevin Durant and you give up so much, the expectation really is that like you're going to go on a deep title run. And so when you lose by nearly 30, after being down by 30 at halftime, and it's sort of like a repeat of the year before where you were also down by 30 at halftime, it doesn't inspire confidence with this new ownership group. And so similar to the Budenholzer situation, like maybe the higher ups aren't seeing this season as a failure per se or an abject failure, but it definitely seemed to be like the last straw for Monty as well. The good thing, hopefully, for Monty, though, is he will have no shortage of opportunities. I'm sure so many teams are chomping at the bit to talk to him. You have the Raptors that are still looking. The Bucks are open. The Pistons supposedly had maybe finalized some head coaches, but nothing had been signed. So Pistons, if you're listening to this, I mean, go after Monty. But there will be so many opportunities for him. He's still so well respected across the industry. So I'm sure he'll land on his feet. And if it's been reported as true that he did sign this contract extension, he's likely, up for a pretty good payout. And so, he can also just relax and take some time away from the game. Being a coach really seems like a 24/7 job. So I wouldn't be opposed, or mad if, he was like, I'm going to take the next couple months off and go drink some beers with Mike from the Bucks, and spend time with his family. It's really interesting, to just kind of wrap this up, is this has been a really messy season for coaches throughout the NBA. I don't really recall a time where in such close proximity, so many coaches were being outs, or there were just so many coaches like transitioning or, looking for other roles. So even as I mentioned earlier, I mean, you have the Raptors, you have the Bucks, you have the Pistons, you now have the Suns. And so again, for all of the coaches still in the playoffs, this is really the time to show up. I think the biggest pressure probably is on Doc, and to see like what the team is going to be able to do in this final game 7. Doc has never run a game 7 on the road, so this could be his first time to do so. But even Joe Mazzulla as well, there's going to be some questions about, could there potentially be someone else that's a better fit to get us over the hump? When you have such quality coaches that the team feels that they can't get them over the hump, there's really a big question. And I mean, you have the Bucks. Rumor has it, it's not been confirmed that I've seen, but there's rumors that the Bucks may be going after Ty Lue, so a coach that already has a job. So this season has definitely been chaotic for coaches, and I really can't wait to see how things wrap up in the final days of the season.